Hello, this is Demigod IV, and I'll be talking about Summoner's Rift map for you, Classic. And this is the 5v5 map that most competitive games are played on. And I'll just be going through the interface and a little bit of the jungle and lanes and where the buffs and stuff are. So, this is the shop here. This is the fountain where you spawn first, your 5 teammates. And you start off at level 1 here, or here. This is your profile, your attack, magic, your ability power, attack speed, movement speed, armor, and magic resist. And what you do is you push your lanes or destroy the buildings of your enemies and destroy the nexus. That's the goal. And for yours not to be destroyed. And they cannot attack it until they destroy at least one line of the towers all the way down to these two. So let's start off with the shop. The shop is just the area, or this guy, or this form that you buy your items that make you more powerful. You're only allowed to have 6 items at once. So you want to just be careful on what you buy sometimes, so you have room for wards and potions and stuff like that. And you cannot buy from the shop if you're far away, so you have to be relatively close to buy it from it. And in the shop, when you bring it up, it is under all items, the searches, and so it's just from cheapest to most expensive items in a list form, or you can put it into a grid form. Then you can go to categorize it if you want, such as defenses, so it only gives you defensive items with like health or magic resist. And it gives you the health, armor, magic resist, magic, health regen, and tenacity. Then there's attack, gives you all the attack items, and so forth. You can also search for something, and it'll come up with all the items that are under the list. So even if the full name's not typed, it'll capture the few letters that you have in there, and it'll bring up what matches. So if you know the item and you don't know how to find it that fast, then you can type it into the search bar. If you go under recommended, it'll tell you in general what is relatively good for your champion. You don't have to follow this, but it is a decent guideline to what your champion needs to use to be productive in fights. And the old recommended used to be pretty crappy, and they've updated it where it's relatively decent. So if you're a new player and you don't know what to build, this is pretty good to follow. Now, an interesting thing about these, if you don't have the money to buy a full item or items, they usually have sub kind of categories or items under it that are cheaper that you can buy.
This is very exciting.
So if you can't buy the Tear of the Goddess, you can just buy the Fairy Charm and wait, and it'll upgrade into the Tear of the Goddess. And that's pretty much about the shop. If you have items, you can sell them, but the sell is like half of what you bought it for. So if you buy something and then sell it, it's not really worth it. So top lane is usually a solo bruiser or AD guy. And again, the objective of the game is to kill these minions, push the lane, and to not die, and destroy turret after turret to get down to the last and final building, which is the Nexus. That is top lane. Mid lane is almost the same thing. It's in the middle of the map, so maybe a little more vulnerable, and it is for usually the AP champions that use magic damage and are high burst, and they go here because they need to level up faster. And since the middle of the map it is the shortest distance for the minions to travel, they get the highest XP rate because they encounter the minions faster and kill them faster than top or bottom. And this is bottom. Same setup as top, just reversed, and this is usually where the AD carry is and their support. AD carry and support, it's a dual lane, and again their objective is to kill the monsters and push down the turrets. Also in Summoner's Rift is the jungle. Jungle is very important in the game because there's one jungler, and the jungler goes throughout the map and attacks the different lanes to try to assist them. And they do this because the jungler, you don't know where they're at, so they can make surprise ganks and stuff like that to make moves. So this is one of the objectives or buffs, and there are four normal buffs in the game that the jungler can take. Blue and red. Here's red on this side of the map, and then on the other side it's just reverse. Blue is here and red is up here. Those give you just standard buffs that help increase your champion and whatnot. And I'll go into jungle routines in a different video. And also on Summoner's Rift, there are 2 more objectives, which is Dragon, which is this guy down here, and Baron. Dragon is a medium-sized monster which takes a few champions to kill, and he gives a global gold to the team that kills it. And then Baron, who comes up at 15 minutes, I think, is a huge monster, and he gives everybody gold and a very good buff. So when that's up, people are always warding it and stuff because they don't want the enemy team to receive the buff, and it's always fought over. Alright, I'll go into pings real fast. Alert ping and retreat ping, so those are pretty explanatory. So it usually means on my way or missing in action. So you can left click it here and left click the ground or the mini map where you want it to show up. Again, for the retreat ping, it's the same thing. And the hotkeys that I think are standard for it is if you left click G, it tells you up there G and left click, it'll work, or V and left click. And another thing they just added is if you're about to do a ping, you can keep your left mouse clicker down without letting go, and you have different options of what you want to ping. So normal ping is just left clicking and letting go, and if you want to have more options, you can hold it down. On my way, danger, missing, enemy missing, and assist me, or you can just cancel it. So that's kind of a cool new thing that they added, because if you're like coming up to gank someone, you can do on my way, and it'll show you that where you're coming from. See, as the arrow moves as I walk, so it also tells the direction of where you are coming from. And then there's enemy missing, assist me, and danger, and they all have different sounds and different colors, so you can recognize them in game. Here's your info bar, you can call it. These are your abilities. You have four abilities that a champion has and a passive, and then your 2 summoner spells and recall. Recall is just free. You hit B and you'll recall back to the base to heal up. And your health bar and your mana bar. Some people don't have mana, sometimes they don't have anything, sometimes they have energy or fury. It's whatever the champion you choose as. Up in the top right corner here is all your kills, like total your kills and total enemy kills, your personal kills, your personal deaths, and your personal assists, and your personal CS. CS is just when you get the last hit on one of these little creatures, and it gives you a little bit of money. And then the time, and if you want, you can bring up your ping and your FPS. And also a good tool you want to use in any map is the tab button. When you hit tab and hold it down, it'll show you the list of your allies and your enemies, what items they have, what their kill death ratio is, what their creep score is, what their names are, what champion they are, and their summoner abilities. And this is really effective because you can look at what the enemy is building and what their team comp is, and then you're able to counter build that. And so that's what's interesting about this game, is because you keep counter building your against your enemy to get ahead. So that tab button will really help you in seeing what your enemy's building and such. I think that's about it. I mean, you can have 6 items. Again, the shop is all the way back here, and you cannot buy anything while you're in lane or fighting an enemy. And if you like this video, please like and subscribe our channel. I'll be uploading more about on Twisted Tree Line, Dominion, and the Proving Grounds. I'll probably go into a whole bunch of other aspects of the game also. So this is Demigod IV, and thank you very much.